back your homes, or restore your dead to life.
But perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our king.
Hey everyone, I wanted to make a quick video today about the Song of Ice and Fire series. These novels are obviously what the huge popular show Game of Thrones is based on. A lot of people have been talking about rereading the book series and starting back at the first season in the show, and if you have seen any of my videos, you know I pull a lot of information from the books. Now the books are in some aspects completely different from the television series, but we all know that because HBO has to cut some corners due to the main storyline material being reduced to hour-long episodes. Now the reason I talk about lore and theories from books is because many things that we see on the show happen to have an underlying relation to stuff in the books. Things non-book readers would never catch on to, unless you watch Game of Thrones YouTubers like myself. As the show has taken shape and become an award-winning series all over the world, George R.R. Martin and some of his co-authors have actually come out with additional reading material to digest. One of the new books that has surfaced is called The World of Ice and Fire. People are talking about picking up the books for the first time and asking where they should start. To be honest, you would think that you would want to start with the first novel from A Song of Ice and Fire titled A Game of Thrones. But there are many who would say that this isn't the most organized way to start. Some of you have heard about the Tales of Duncan and Egg, a series of novellas that are still being added to by Martin, and the plot of the tales takes place in Westeros about 90 years before Game of Thrones takes place, and it centers around the adventures of Egg, which would later be known as Aegon V Targaryen, and his close friend Dunk, or Sir Duncan the Tall, the future Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. Martin has written 3 installments so far, but plans to make anywhere from 6 to 12 novellas in the series. Since the storyline comes way before A Song of Ice and Fire, it would make sense to read through it first. But the history of the known world goes back so much further than the Tales of Duncan and Egg. It actually goes back at least tens of thousands of years. Not even the most knowledgeable of maesters have an accurate estimate as to when the known world came into existence. I actually learned that bit of information in a book that was released in 2014 called The World of Ice and Fire. Now this book is written as a real-life history book from the point of view of a maester named Yandel. Yandel is a maester who was born and raised in the Citadel and wanted nothing more than to become a full-fledged maester and read of long-dead men in the history of the world. He was so enthusiastic about training, he was able to forge his first link at the age of 13. Anyway, Yandel collected many unfinished writings from Archmaester Gildan that he used to help write The World of Ice and Fire. Much of the Archmaester's notes were on the Targaryen history. Now to explain a bit of the book, let me say this. The size of it is that of a college textbook, and the way it is written is similar as well. It goes over the ancient history of the world, including the Dawn Age, the Doom of Valyria, and more. It talks about dragons in depth, including Aegon's conquest, the first Targaryen king, and the man who conquered Westeros after leaving his island home of Dragonstone. He also commissioned the Iron Throne. Because of the main sources of this book being from the Archmaester's old writings, much of the textbook is about Targaryens and dragons. It talks about the history of the Seven Kingdoms and also the history of Essos in depth, and of course much more. Maester Yandel wrote this book originally for Robert Baratheon, but he has modified it all the way up to Tommen Baratheon. Yandel is still living in the current timeline, and what I think is most interesting about the book is that because he is fearful of the Lannisters and does not want to end up dead like many of the noble family's enemies, he cut out a lot of info from the textbook to ensure they would not be upset with him. One of the co-authors, Aleo Garcia, stated, "In particular, Yandel starts to get quite careful when he writes about events in which various important, influential, powerful, and most of all still living people had a role. He has an interest in keeping his head on his neck. Ned and Stannis practically disappear from the account of the rebellion because Yandel has cut out his original account of the rebellion after Robert's death, Eddard's execution for treason, and Stannis and Renly proclaiming the throne, and hastily did a revised and more politically acceptable one. What's great about this is the information is contradicting to other accounts of the same history subjects. So it lives up to the other works of Martin by making you consider if what you are reading is biased or 100% factual. Anyway, if you were going to start with a single book, I would recommend this one just because it outlines the major historical events in the known world, and it actually has a lot of info that contributes to theories from the Song of Ice and Fire series. Oh, and for readers that want a visual, it includes a lot of artwork, so you can put faces with names. I will leave a link in the description to purchase the book on Amazon. The link is the last Harpy's affiliate link that supports the channel by giving us a small percentage of the revenue from the purchase. It does not change anything from your end if you do decide to buy the book. The price will stay the same regardless. It only helps to support us, but by no means do I need you to use my link. I'm just going to throw it up there in case you feel like helping us out. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I know it's not the usual type of videos I make, but I worked extra long on my last video and thought you would all benefit from learning about this awesome companion book. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.